Happy Easter, Soma, from the Vieira family.
Happy Easter, cousins!
We're sending a video to you from our new apartment here in Culver City.
Hi, Victoria. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
How was your first night in your new home?
Thank you.
Pretty good.
Hey, Sarah.
Hey, Victoria.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. So I know what you're thinking. This is a Christmas tree. This started off as a joke by Victoria during quarantine, but we ended up keeping it up because it was an evidence of grace for us and our household. Christmas was the time that Jesus was born, the time that he came, so we needed that in order for Easter to happen. So we've kind of connected the two holidays, celebrating both his birth and his death and resurrection.
It looks good. It is finished.
And entering the tomb, they saw a young man sitting on the right side, dressed in a white robe. And they were alarmed. And he said to them, "Do not be alarmed. You seek Jesus of Nazareth, who was crucified. He has risen. He is not here. See the place where they laid him. He has risen.
He is risen indeed! No more let sin and sorrows grow, nor thorns infest the ground. He's come to make his blessings known, far as the curse is found, far as the curse is found, far as the curse is found.
And they went out and fled the tomb, for trembling and astonishment had seized them. And they said nothing to anyone, for they were afraid. He is risen!
He is risen indeed!
Let's leave the tomb.
Merry Easter! Love you, Soma!
The evidence of God's grace that I'm seeing in this season is that Jesus is so much better than the circumstances. When so much has been taken away, and it seems like things should quiet down, I still feel like there is always something to be done, and always something that takes me away from really just sitting with Jesus. And he's really reminding me in this season to sit with him and look at him full in the face, and to know that he is good and know that he is better and he is above all that is happening in the world.
And just to piggyback off that, as most of you know, we have a 9-month-old son named Ryan, and I spend all day with him. And he doesn't have any words that he can say yet, but he leads me to Jesus every day. When he wakes up, he 100% trusts and believes that Chris and I are going to come and take care of him and meet all of his needs. And as he goes throughout the day, he's not anxious or worried. He trusts and believes that we're going to be there. And that is how I see Jesus living when he walked this earth. He 100% trusted that his Father was going to take care of him and meet his every need. And so during this crazy time, I'm so thankful to have my little example of Ryan showing me how I need to put my trust in Jesus and believe that he is going to 100% meet all of our needs and take care of us, even if it seems chaotic and confusing and we don't know where help is going to come from. I'm thankful that Jesus actually is in control and is better than all of the answers or new recommendations that might come our way of how we can control this virus. And I'm thankful that Jesus is on the throne and he is the one leading the way.
I'm learning that sin has no power over God and death is bad.
Hey Soma, happy Easter. What a crazy Easter it is, but in a lot of ways, this Easter's kind of been a gift to have to stay inside and tear away the other things of life. And I think that's really helped me get a sense of how Jesus is better. Tearing away the comforts that I so easily run to, and the work that I run to, and just seeing that when those things are stripped bare, that really the only thing left is Jesus. And I think that's made this Easter that much sweeter for me personally, and more tangible in a lot of ways, to really realize that my life is built, and the foundation of that is on the resurrection, and just what a joy it is to be able to celebrate that with you guys.
What are you learning about God?
I'm learning about He dies
Who does he die for?
for everyone.
And is that good?
No.
What else happens to Jesus?
Comes back alive!
Hey everyone, hope y'all are having a good Holy Week as we get close to Good Friday and then Easter on Sunday. I just wanted to share a little bit of what I've been processing the last several weeks. I think ironically a lot of it was triggered by some of the Psalm devotionals. It's kind of funny, assumed that putting it out there would be more for sharing with everyone else, but God's actually been using it to do a lot of work on my own heart. And specifically the idea that he kind of showed me in Psalm 18, that like just as he entered into the world, bending the heavens and coming down, sacrificing his place and his security to redeem us and to free us from condemnation. I've been processing that a lot in regards to how do I use this time, because in a lot of ways we actually have, I and Robin and really our family has more bandwidth during this time. Thankfully, and God has not interrupted, has prevented any interruption to our jobs whatsoever. And so we're really able to take stock of what we're doing with our time. And a lot of that, he's leading me to how the line that I keep hearing is, this time, this bandwidth is not for you. Meaning it's for God and for others. And in particular, he keeps redirecting me to my children. That this is a time where I really get to invest in them, where I really get to lay down my preferences in any way possible to enter their world and to help them through this time, to play with them, to enjoy with them, to celebrate the good with them, and to mourn the bad. So that's what he's doing in my heart, and how I'm seeing his mission go forth even now. Hope y'all are doing well.
Hi friends, so good to see you all. Happy Easter, he is risen. One way that I'm seeing God's mission work through me right now is just to be present in the spaces that I am in right now. And if that's just spending time working on school stuff with the kids, then trying to be present in that moment. If I'm teaching piano, then really trying to engage with those kids over Zoom. Or if it's just calling a friend or texting someone, thinking of them. So I've been encouraged that the Holy Spirit is still moving and working in my own life and in other people's lives, just via technology. And I think that's really special that we have that right now. So I'm super grateful for that, and I'm excited to see how he continues to work over the coming months. Love to you all.
Yeah, one way I've seen God working out his mission in me and in us is, this is a time right now when we're able to be a lot more vulnerable with people that maybe we wouldn't otherwise, when people are much more comfortable sharing their need. And yeah, maybe under a lot of other circumstances, that's something I kind of brush off and, why are these people even telling me that sort of thing? Not really acting with a lot of compassion. But now I'm seeing that totally fall away, and all these conversations I'm having with coworkers and neighbors and stuff that never would have happened outside of these sorts of circumstances have been really cool to see that people are willing to express their need, and sometimes even be willing to admit that need probably doesn't come from themselves, from those around them. So we know where that need can be filled. That's what we want to show to all those people.
Hi, Soma fam. One way that I have seen the church be more is, even though we are interacting with each other not in our natural way that we lean to in our normal times together, we've still been able to be vulnerable with each other and share what we're going through and speak truth back to one another. And it's been really beautiful, and I've been enjoying seeing people still be committed to pursuing each other and pursuing Christ.
Hey fam, happy Easter. I hope you're having a lovely day in spite of the quarantine, and I'm just so glad that we can have these special elements in the service today to see one another's faces and hear each other's reflections and just make it more of a special Zoom church or virtual church. But anyway, Easter. I'm gonna answer maybe a couple of the questions, but it's been really cool even during this time just to see mission happen. When you're like, I'm at home. Oddly enough, we've actually met more neighbors in quarantine than we have out of quarantine. So that is only of God. Our neighborhood did a front porch happy hour. Casey and I wanted to do like a backyard fence with our neighbors. And then one of our neighbors knows everyone. He's like, let's do front porch happy hour. And the lady across the street is a professional flautist, and she put on a concert, and people walked 6 feet away, mind you. And we got to meet lots of people. And I've also been able to deliver bread to my neighbor who is elderly and just serve her more. She's like the mama bear of the neighborhood, but it's just cool that during this time we can actually serve. And then lots of cool texts to my front neighbor. Her cat was lost and just being overwhelmed by being home and trying to homeschool and do everything, and just to encourage her to have grace for herself, that she is doing an awesome job, that I see how she loves her kids, and just calling out all those awesome qualities in her. And I might just share a little for Casey, always what I do. But he's just had awesome and random conversations with friends that have called out of the blue, and family members just asking more about God and Jesus, which is super cool and only the work of God. So praise him. Maybe that's all I'm going to answer. But God has, there's a fun squirrel in the background, everyone. God is at work, and nature is being restored and redeemed right now, which is also super cool. Our cleanest air and clear blue skies and squirrels coming around. Okay, he's not there anymore. All right, anyway, happy Easter, fam. God is at work, and even though we seem like we can't do anything or hopeless or helpless, he is already has been and is and will continue to do his work and draw people to him. And don't also underestimate, I can pray. The power of prayer is so powerful and moves mountains and brings miraculous healing and all of that. So don't discount that when you are in your home and you can't go out and do things, that you can pray. And I think that is amazing, and that's going before the throne of grace. So happy Easter, happy resurrection, and I love you all and miss you so much.
Happy Easter, Soma.
Happy Easter, fam.
The way I've been seeing Jesus be better is in my low days where I'm struggling a lot, and in my high days, he still just calls me back to himself really graciously and just constantly every day. So that's a big way, just day after day, I've seen him show up.
And I've been seeing the church be more just in this time of isolation and separation. I have still felt so loved and so pursued and so known because of our missional community family and my DNA, and especially my husband. And yeah, it's just a beautiful thing to know that even though we're all separated, we're still one family and we still get to do life together, albeit via technology. And so I'm just super, super grateful to have such an amazing family here in LA during this time.
Bye.
I like to worship about Jesus because it's very fun to worship about him, because then you can love him and care about him all and believe in him. And I need to say Happy Easter!